I think 27 was like the year where I was like, I can't imagine doing a backflip ever again. Maybe even 27. Like the fact that I used to do backflips is mind blowing to me. Or like just jump in the air and land on my feet and do a leap. Like that sounds so painful right now to just land on hard ground.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 487. Oh, 487. Phenomenal episode for you all today. But, of course, the socials. You know, Casting for Two. Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Instagram more. I like Instagram more, so sue me. Don't do that. Also, Casting for Two, the new Casting for Two takes you to my link tree where you can find the podcast in all its various places. A speak pipe to leave me a voicemail, my Twitch channel, all the good stuff, castingfor2.com, or I believe it's linktree/CFT pod. But whatever, Casting for Two will still take you there. But my guest today, she really needs zero introduction because this is her 7th time on the podcast. There was no way I was going to spend 2022 without talking to the always amazing and beautiful Caitlin Carver. She's on the podcast and enjoying one of our yearly chats, something that I'm so grateful she says yes to every year. But I'm done talking because we need to get into this episode. All right. So sit back, relax, and Caitlin, take it away. Caitlin.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Apparently I had to update my Zoom. So I'm sorry I'm a little delayed.
No, you're fine. I had to do an update as well. And, then the system was like, hey, why don't we update everything? And I said, no, you're going to have to wait.
Not today.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah, I just launched Zoom through Safari. So I guess that's how I'm on here right now. Because I was like, I don't have time to update. But anyway, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing just fine over here.
Yeah, been a little busy.
Yeah, definitely been quite a busy year. But you know, this past week I got to go visit some family and just kind of take some time to relax and just be home and chill. It's been kind of back to back on like projects. So I've been traveling a lot for that and working a lot. So I've just been, needing these past couple of weeks to just relax a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, just from, seeing your Instagram feed and just seeing how, again, like you said, just back to back on projects. Like, I'm always happy to see you working.
Oh, thanks.
Of course. I'm sure you like working as well.
That I do, yes.
But yeah, no, it was just, it was cool. Like, oh, okay, she's got this project. Okay, cool. And then, so I totally get how you're just like, I need some chill time now.
Yeah, I think also too, a lot of the projects I've been working on have been out of town. So I've been gone a lot home. Like I was in Chicago I think I was there for 4 months. And then I came back for a week and went up to Big Bear for a couple weeks to do a movie. But then before Chicago, I was in Michigan. So it was just like, I felt like I hadn't really just been home.
Yeah.
Because I kept getting these jobs that were like out of Los Angeles. So it's nice to just kind of regroup and be at home and, rest, I guess. All I do is just sit around and rest all day.
Yeah, you just sit and you let the batteries charge. I get it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it's been nice too, because I feel like, you know, like I've been able to just sit at home and do my little random hobbies that I like doing that I've kind of been deprived from for like almost a year, because I've just been so busy and away from home and away from all of those things. So yeah, I'm just, like you said, recharging the battery, and yeah, it's been nice.
But would it be safe to assume that one of your hobbies is your garden?
Well, not this year.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it definitely is, but because I was gone, I didn't plant anything. And also, like, the few things that I was planting last year, nothing worked. I have some kind of critter that comes in and eats everything, and I've been finding these huge, this might be TMI, so just mute it, people, if it is, but I find these huge turds in my garden bed. So I don't know what is back there. And I'm like, it's not like a bug, because they're like the size of dog poop, but I don't have a dog and my cat doesn't go outside. So I'm like, I don't know what's eating all of this.
Interesting. So it's a vegetarian something.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
It's pretty bizarre, but I do a lot of indoor gardening, not even gardening. I just have a lot of indoor plants. Those I can take care of because I don't let anything in the house.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Unless one day you open the door and, oh no, it got in and it helped itself in the fridge.
I hope that never happens.
But yeah, it's kind of going back to recharging the batteries. It's so funny because my girlfriend, she'll come home and she works long days and she is bouncing around. And I say she has puppy energy because she's just going back and forth. And then here's me, just I'm currently not working right now, so she's like, why aren't you more alert? And I'm like, because I'm saving my energy. I'm just chilling. I don't need to use it right now. So
hey, that's a good way to look at that. You're just saving your energy for the time that you need it.
Yeah. Am I an introvert? Sure. Am I an extrovert? Sure. But it's just like, I have a social meter. And that's where I feel like I draw most of the energy from. So sometimes that needs to fill up. So let's even if it takes months or years, it's just like I'll use that energy when I need it.
Yeah, what's interesting is I feel like this past year, I've kind of realized that I actually feel pretty like recharged when I spend time alone. I think because I've always been a really social person. Like when I was young and going to high school and middle school, like I was always really, really social. And so I always just labeled myself as an extrovert. But like the older I get, the more, I feel like I've talked to you about this before. Just like, I kind of just love being at home and going to sleep early and being by myself. But yeah, I realized that I actually like need to be alone sometimes because it like recharges me to just have that alone time and just spend that time by myself, which I didn't really realize I needed until like last year.
Now, okay, you didn't realize. I wonder if that's a thing of getting older or if the pandemic had a hand in that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I did turn 30 this year, so
okay, all right. Never mind. It's older.
But yeah, I think I always knew that I liked being alone. Sometimes, but I never knew that I needed it until this year. I think because I was gone so much and working so much, and when with my career, when I'm working, I'm around hundreds of people every day. And so all that I was really craving was just to be alone. Not that I like disliked being around all those people, because I genuinely love everyone I've worked with and have so much fun with them at work, but it was like I was just needing that, like, just that time alone where I could just breathe and, like, I don't know, just be with myself and relax and not have to, like, give my energy to someone else, you know?
Right. No, again, I completely understand. I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so funny. I like hanging out with people as much as the next guy. But I feel, and I told my girlfriend that, you know, if you ask me if I want to do something, I'm going to let you know right away. My immediate response is going to be no. Just because I don't want to do it. I want to stay home. I want to watch TV or, you know, just go take a nap, something like that. But you know, I'm getting better, but still, you know, hey, do you want to do this? I'll think in my head no, and I'll say sure, just because.
Yeah.
You know,
putting yourself out there, and yeah.
And
it probably makes her happy as well. So
that, and well, yeah, and I told her, because she's a very social person, which, well, compared to me is, you know, not saying a whole lot, but still, I told her, you know, you're gonna find out how boring I really am, because, you know, I feel like I'm not saying that I've lived a crazy life, but I've lived a life, and now I just want to chill. I'm 50 years old now. Okay, let me chill.
Are you 50?
No.
I was like, there's no way.
I'm 65. I just want to retire and chill.
You're not. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's more. I'm like, you are not that old.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I never really felt my age. I still don't feel like I'm 34, and sometimes I forget how old I am. I spent my whole 32s thinking I was 33 and being really sad about that. Just because I was like, man, I'm 33 and I've wasted this whole year, hadn't done anything. And then I checked the math and I was like, oh, I'm 32. And then I instantly got excited because I was just like, I'm not wasting anything. All right, I got my 33 year back. But
funny.
Yeah, I don't. It's the brain stuff is already happening.
Yeah, I feel like people, because like I turned 30 this year, and I got a lot of like, how do you feel about turning 30? Like, does it, you know, are you nervous? Are you anxious? Are you excited? And I'm like, honestly, I haven't even thought about it. Like, it doesn't really faze me. Like the number of the age that I am, I still feel like a child, and I still feel like a grandma, and I just still feel like me. So the number 30 hasn't really affected me yet, but I guess if I sat and thought about it for long enough, I could be like, oh my gosh, am I really 30 now? What? Like, time flies so fast. It's insane.
It really does. And yeah, I still don't feel that way about 30. Although I will say, when I turned 31, that's when I got a really random knee pain. And I was just like, what's going on here? What, I don't understand this knee pain. It went away eventually, of course, but still, it was just one of those things where, oh, I guess I am getting older. Okay. All right.
I don't know what's wrong with my knee, but I do this exercise class every week or a couple times a week, and my knee kills me when I run in the class. And I don't know what's wrong with it, but I'm like, it must just be because I'm 30.
Well, also, you've done some stuff like dancing that I'm assuming is hard on the knee.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had a surgery on my knee. I tore my meniscus dancing, and there's no telling what all I did to my legs when I was dancing, as hard as I was for all those years. So I think now that I'm not really doing that anymore, my body's like, what is happening? Whenever I get out of bed in the morning, like every bone in my body cracks. It's terrible. I sound like a transformer.
Oh, wow. Okay. What?
Yeah.
What is the average, like retirement age for a dancer?
I don't know. I still have a couple friends who are still dancing professionally, and they're, you know, in their late 20s, early 30s, and they're definitely, you know, starting to feel it. I think, you know, your body just, I don't know if this works with everyone, but like your body just starts to slow down. Like you don't have the same energy as you did when you were like 18, 19, 20. But you can, you know, professionally, commercially, you can still dance until, I mean, I guess for as long as you want. But I think my body, even though I stopped dancing a while back, I think my body definitely would have slowed down. Probably at like, I think 27 was like the year where I was like, I can't imagine doing a backflip ever again. Maybe even 20. Like the fact that I used to do backflips is mind blowing to me. Or like just jump in the air and land on my feet and do a leap. Like that sounds so painful right now to just land on hard ground.
Oh man. I totally, well, I can't backflip at all, but yeah, just kind of jumping from one elevated place to another, and then my feet are just like, dude, why are you doing this right now?
Yeah.
Why, like, come on. And I'm just like, really, really. But the reason why I think it's fascinating that there are these professions that are out there in the world that you can age out of, whether it be sports, you know, dancing, the one that, you know, kind of one that I've been thinking about is like even like people who do drag, like that whole process of, you know, especially if they wear corsets and stuff like that, like that must be so taxing. And I just think about, well, what do you do after all that? Obviously, or, you know, find a second career. Like it's just weird to me, especially in sports where, oh, he's 35. Oh, he's done. Yeah, he's done. Get him out.
I forget, like my boyfriend and I were looking this up recently. It's like the average age that a football player retires because of, you know, how intense that sport is. And just, I forget what it was, but it was like, I want to say it was like early to mid 20s is the retirement age for an NFL player. I'm like, that is so young, but you know, hopefully you make a lot of money when you're doing that. And
right.
You know, invest it and set yourself up for life, and then can kind of do whatever you want. But, you know, a lot of people are young when they make that kind of money and get excited about it and probably spend too much of their money. But yeah, I mean, my boyfriend's an athlete, or he was. He's a professional skateboarder, and he unfortunately he had an injury when he was 24 or 23 that took him out of skating. But yeah, he did that. He just kind of became like a businessman after he used his money to invest in the right places and start companies, and now he just is like a 9-to-5 businessman running a couple companies. So yeah, I guess that's what you could do after it. But yeah, it is such an interesting thing. Like athletes are people whose careers are like based around the physicality of it all. Like that must be so crazy to know that eventually that thing's not going to be there anymore.
Right. And especially at, you know, closer rather than later, you know, it's just, oh, I was a teacher for like 60 years. I'm like, man, I wish I could say I played professional ball for 60 years, but, you know.
Yeah, that must be so devastating too, to like get to that point where you're like, my body just physically can't do it anymore, even though maybe and most likely mentally they still want to, you know? Like I never really got that way with dancing because I stopped dancing because I started acting, and my body hadn't given up on me yet. But like, I can't imagine if I had only been dancing and not really discovered acting, if like my body was just slowing down and I was getting older and I was like, no, I don't want this to be done yet, but I just can't keep up with it.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, did it cut out?
A little bit. You went robo voice, and so I was just kind of like
Oh.
hanging on, like, okay, and
Okay, well,
we're
that'll
back.
be fun for
I'll,
your
I'll
edit.
I'll hand it off to the editor. It's fine. It's fine.
Are you the editor?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I think it's just doing the Zoom on my Safari versus like the app or whatever. But
no, you're good. It's probably just internet stuff. No worries. It's all good.
also, I was just rambling, so it's fine. It was. I don't know how we got on the subject athletes and age, but
it sounded important, so it's okay. It's fine.
Okay, well, there you go.
But
there you have it.
I just think about a lot of things, but first off, I gotta thank you for clearing up your schedule.
Of course,
because this is our chats are always the most fun I have throughout the year, and especially the past couple of years haven't been fun. So I look forward to this. And also,
well, thank you for making this work. I was just visiting family and spending time with them, but I'm always happy to chat with you.
Well, and this is the number 7.
Well, I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, I think it's the 6th time, but wow, 7. That is actually crazy. That is wild.
It is, and it's just, again, it's so crazy that you just say yes. I don't know why, but still.
Well, it's fun for me too. I love talking to you.
But and I just like the fact that with every interview that I've done, that I prepare for, whether it be somebody new, somebody returning, I always kind of have a game plan. Even though I make it appear as if I don't, but because I'm just that good. For our chats, right. I've never really had a game plan past our 4th, because now because I just never know what to talk about, and that is also very very fun for me, just the unknown.
And I can ramble.
Well, it's perfect. We have the winning combination.
There we go. Yeah.
But yeah, no.
That's awesome though that you don't have to make like an outline or something of like things to talk about and all of those things. Like that's cool. I guess because we've been talking for so long, we know that we'll find things to talk about.
Yeah, and obviously, like the one thing I wanted to talk about was just the work that the work that you've been getting, which we did. So, but I guess I can talk to you about Chicago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How was that? How was Chicago? Do you miss it? Do you want to go back? Did you hate it?
No, I will say I was really, really excited to see some snow.
Yeah.
But I was not prepared for how cold it is. Like I knew it was going to be cold, and I have been up to the mountains. I've been in cold places, but I've never experienced a cold like Chicago because of the wind chill. And on days where we were filming outside, when it's like, we had one scene where we had a victim like down by the Riverwalk in downtown Chicago, and I think it was like 10 degrees that day, but with the wind chill, it was like -8 or something. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it was so cold that my mouth was frozen. So in the scene, I'm trying to say all this medical jargon and trying to say all of my dialogue, and my mouth is just frozen. So none of my words are coming out clear at all. I have to ADR the whole scene pretty much. But I mean, we were in layers and layers of clothes. I think I wore every day when we were outside, at least 3 pairs of pants and at least 3 shirts. Plus, we have our big puffer coats that we wear. But yeah, okay. So that was probably the only negative I have about Chicago was just how cold it was. But other than that, I loved Chicago. I loved doing Chicago Fire. I loved everyone involved. Like, truly one of my favorite jobs that I've ever done. It's just such a family, which is, I mean, I guess when you think about it, most of those people have been on, the show's been on for 10 years. So those people have been working together for 10 years. And it's pretty much all, I mean, you know, some cast is left here and there, but like for the most part, it's a lot of the original crew and cast and crew, and they're just a family, and they take everyone in as if you're already part of the family. So they just like really welcomed me. And the city of Chicago is so cool. I love it so much. I was a little scared at first because I didn't know. I mean, I've been to Chicago like a couple times, but every time I would tell someone I was going to Chicago, they were like, be careful. You know, like it's scary. You know, I kept hearing that over and over. So I'm like, okay, great. Like, I don't know anyone there. I'm going to get there. They're putting me in this apartment. I don't know the area. I probably can't walk around. You know, it was like I was having all those thoughts. And I got there, and it's, I mean, like, look, there are bad parts of Chicago, just like there are bad parts of any city. But it's such a clean, beautiful city, and everyone's so friendly. I love it so much. I don't have enough good things to say about it. But yeah, I kind of got to go through the seasons a little bit, because when I first got there, it was freezing still. And then by the time I left, it was like I could wear a tank top, which was so cool.
Right.
But then I had to leave like the second day I could wear a tank top. So I was done before I got to really experience the summer. But yeah, I love it. Have you ever been there?
Yeah. So when our first conversation, I was living in Chicago. So I understand what you're talking about with the winters.
Okay.
And it's that thing where people don't believe me around here when I say I'm not cold. It's not cold because, and I'll tell them I lived in Chicago for a winter. My cold barometer is just shot. So if I'm not breathing in ice or my mustache isn't being frozen, it's not cold outside.
I mean, when you know that Chicago winter, like, nothing even compares to it. Truly nothing.
No. And
yeah, that was brutal.
And the thing that got me, though, is how well organized the city is to just handle it. Because, you know, obviously they've been through it plenty of times. So, like, okay, well, let's go. Let's make sure the roads are clear. Doop. And it's just... You know, I remember when it first started snowing, my brain was like, all right, it's snowing. I'm going to have a day off from work or go in later. No, they know what they're doing. No, you're no.
Yeah, you got to go to work still. Like, I think my first episode that I did of Fire, it was the first episode, and I think it was like my second day of filming, and we had this scene where like the ambulance pulls up to this ice rink, like an indoor ice rink. We have to, go inside because something's happened in there. And I remember we were like in the ambulance, and it's like snowing so hard, like it's like pouring down snow, and I was like, how long do you think the snow's gonna last? And someone was like, oh, we're shooting through this. Like, here's a beanie, put it on your head. I was like, you're kidding me. I get out of the ambulance, and there's just like snow all in my eyes and in my face. And we just shoot the scene. I was like, oh, okay, so no one slows down. If it's raining, you still shoot the scene. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, because I guess, you know, their weather is so sporadic and you never know what it's going to do there that like you kind of just have to shoot through it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't. And of course, you know, you feel like a weenie complaining because you have the cast and crew that have been there for years now, and they're just like, "This is what we're used to." Like this.
Yeah, when I first got there, I think it was this guy Alberto who's on the show. I think he was the one who asked me like, are you excited about being in Chicago for a couple months, whatever? And I was like, yeah, I'm so excited to see snow.
Yes.
And apparently they all just like were like, they told me at the end that they were like talking about this, but they were like, she is not going to last here. Like, she is not going to like it. Because here I am, like, I'm so excited to see the snow, like coming from sunny California. And meanwhile, it's just like so freezing there. But, you know, I also heard too that like they're back shooting right now. And I got really close with a couple people there, but this girl, Hanako, and she was telling me like in the summer, it is so painfully hot in, you know, like in the ambulance uniforms and all this, like it's like so hot there. So I'm like, I don't know if I'd rather experience the cold that I dealt with or the heat of the summer, because heat can be pretty painful too when it's like scorching hot.
Well, yeah, it's when I first moved to Chicago, it was right before the summertime. And I was super excited because I, you know, again, I'm not a fan of Texas, wanted to get out of Texas. So then go to Chicago, and I was just, when the summertime rolled around, I was so pissed off because it was humid. And I was just, I left Texas for this. This is bullshit. And then, you know, I would tell people I'm excited for the winter. And yeah, everyone's very like, okay, you're going to say something different. And then when it happened, I was still excited. I still liked it. 'Cause I'm a winter guy. Since I'm a bigger guy, I naturally always am warm. So going out there, you know, with like, I don't know, basketball shorts on and a hoodie just felt really nice. And and my jacket, you know, I had like a pea coat. People were always telling me, no, you need puffy jackets. And I'm like, no, I'm already puffy. I don't need a puffy jacket. I'll be fine. And I kept telling people that. The only thing I did get was mittens.
Because your hands will fall off.
Yes, yeah. That's the only thing I didn't have. So I remember just buying mittens that were, you know, like screen friendly, so I can text and stuff like that. Other than that, that was it. I was just like, let's go, let's bring it on, winter, and I enjoyed it. I could see how people would just be either annoyed by it because it's just like, all right, whatever. Or just because it just lasts so long, or it'll just hit randomly. So I could see how people would be annoyed with that. But yeah,
did you live downtown there?
No, I lived in the suburb. So yeah, that's another gripe that I have. I would tell people, oh, I live, you know, in this city, and they go, no, you live in Chicago, and I'm like, well, no, because Chicago's over there. No, just you live in Chicago. I'm like, but I don't.
Every suburb of Chicago just is Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just, okay, so I guess I'll just say I live in Chicago, which, you know, whatever. And then I too, nobody told me not to go outside, but again, I was in the suburb. But I remember one of my first conversations with somebody who did live there. He was just, welcome to Chicago, the most corrupt city. And I was just, what? Well, huh? And he was just telling me about all the corruption in the local government and stuff like that. And I was just, oh, cool. That's fun. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, I remember taking the train though, going downtown, or you know, in actual Chicago. And I wonder, looking back, I wonder how I did that, because I hate looking like a tourist in anywhere I go, to the point where I would rather not go to the touristy spots. But I happen, you know, to have a visitor with me, so I was like, fine, I'll be a tourist for a day. And we were just wandering around, and I just think I had zero clue of which were good places to go and bad places to go. So yeah, it was just, I was just wandering, and I was surprised I made it back in one piece. Looking back at it.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think I really know all of the good places to go and
Yeah.
whatnot, but I made such good friends there that have been living there for quite a while. So they would just take me around to all their favorite places and I'd follow them around and you just keep your eye out. But I mean, again, that's like any city. I do that in
Right.
LA too. I mean, you don't really walk, which I live in the suburbs now, but like you don't really walk much of anywhere in LA because it's not really a walkable city. But if I were to walk anywhere, I would definitely be, just aware of all my surroundings because
Right.
you just never know. You never know anywhere at all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally get that. I remember chatting with somebody about a place in Canada where I used to live, and there was this one part where I would walk from, I guess, a sketchy part and go to school. I had no idea it was sketchy, but it was that thing where I can kind of feel this if I'm walking at midnight. It feels sketchy to be around here. But we were joking that since it was Canada, it's totally fine. So, but yeah, it's, yeah, I don't know.
So did you only live in Chicago for 1 year?
I did, yeah.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
you still live in Texas, right?
Yeah, I moved back to Texas.
Okay.
But yeah, whatever. It is, I'm here. But I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so
Okay.
yeah, that's what I tell
I think I
everyone.
remember you telling me all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that obviously, again, I've lived a life. I know where I've been. Sometimes I forget where I've been. And when I was dating my girlfriend, who, she's from San Antonio and went to Austin for school, and then came back here. She's just like, "You went there?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I guess I did." It's I don't know. I don't. I feel like it's so far in my past that I just forgot that I did the things that I did, lived the places that I lived, and yeah, it's just so weird to hear somebody else talk about your story or where you've lived. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now I just feel like I'm boring.
I mean, I've only lived in where I grew up in Alabama and in California, so that's all the only places I have. Well, I mean, I guess temporarily for
Yeah.
Movies and TV shows, but as far as actually living places, it's only been in 2 areas, so I'm pretty boring here.
No, you can put that. You can put that on your resume. Lived in Chicago for. You survived a Chicago winter. That's bragging rights.
I know.
So
I sure did.
So yeah, no, I would consider you, and you lived in proper Chicago, not a suburb of Chicago. These fake.
Yeah, I did have a really beautiful apartment though. It like overlooked the lake and it was so pretty. It was like right on the water. It was beautiful. I mean, there wasn't a lot to like walk to around my apartment, but gosh, it was stunning. Yeah, I just think Chicago is such a cool city.
Yeah.
I really, really love it. There's so many cool restaurants and bars and like coffee shop. Like they just have everything. And the food is just amazing there.
And so I'm assuming you had Chicago style deep dish.
I did, yeah. And you know what? It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm here to admit.
Yeah.
It is like it's good and definitely everyone needs to try it, but it's a little too rich for me. It's a little too much for me. I kind of like more. I don't like a crusty thin pizza, but I like more of a thin crust, like a soft thin thin crust. So yeah, I mean I had it and my mom came to visit, so we got it again and yeah, it just is not my favorite.
No, I remember because like everybody's, I shouldn't say everybody's, but my thought process on deep dish was more of, hey, a thicker crust, fantastic. which is now apparently that's considered Detroit style thick crust or deep dish. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then having that Chicago, it just blew my mind. Just I remember getting a whole pizza and only being able to do two, and I was just like, what is going on here? And then you dissect it, and it's like, oh, there's a second pizza in the pizza. So no wonder. And I remember my coworker.
There's like 3 pizzas in the pizza.
Yeah, who knows? The 5, 6, it never ends with the pizzas in the pizza. But I remember my coworkers were like, yeah, I mean, we eat that, but it has to be like a special occasion. And then even that, you fall asleep after it. You need a nap. And I was just
a Pepsi.
Yeah, Pepsi. Like, yeah, you need all the acid reflux, meds you can get your hands on. But yeah, it's one of those things that, experience it, but also I don't know anybody who actually likes it.
Yeah, I mean, my mom did really like it, but it was kind of one of those things where, like, she was like, I have to get it because I'm in Chicago. And I'm like, okay. And then afterwards it was like, she never wanted it again. So it's just one of those things you have to do in Chicago. Just like you have to get like a hot dog when you're in Chicago with no ketchup.
Yeah.
People will stare daggers into your soul if you put ketchup on a hot dog.
Right. Yeah. And the relish needs to be like neon green. It needs to glow.
Yes. And there needs to be like a whole pickle on it, which I'm okay with. Yeah. I could eat a whole jar of pickles on my hot dog.
I will say I was way more excited for the Chicago dog. And I just like the fact that, A, they were cheap. And anywhere I ordered food from, they always had a Chicago dog. So I'd be like, yeah, let me add one. Why not? Who cares?
I got to go to, we went to the opening night of... what baseball team is there? Oh my gosh, I'm stupid.
The Sox, the Cubs.
The Cubs.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to the opening night of the Cubs game, and I was like, I have to get a hot dog while I'm here. And then we went to a White Sox game, and I was like, I have to get a hot dog while I'm here.
and then you went to your apartment, and you're like, I have to get a hot dog.
I have to get a hot dog.
Yeah. No, it's, I do. I will. I mean, I miss a lot of things about Chicago, but the food certainly was something that I enjoyed, and plus a lot of it was the food that I ordered was not from. It felt like more mom and pop stuff places, not huge corporate, which was kind of cool because, in Texas, that's all I'm surrounded by. So
is big corporations.
Yeah.
Like Chili's and.
I'll always order from Chili's. Always Chili's, non-stop Chili's.
That's what I loved about Chicago is just all of the local small restaurants that are like locally family owned. Mm-hmm. I really, really love that city. I really do. I loved everything about that experience. It was awesome.
Nice. And a while ago, I don't know if you are cool talking about it or if anything, whatever happened to the script that you were writing, the holiday script?
Oh my gosh. Well, when I still write, just for fun and stuff, but when things get busy, it's really hard for me to balance like writing and having to read scripts for, and prep for movies that I'm doing or Chicago Fire, whatever it's been for the past year or so. So yeah, it's hard for me to balance all of that. But now that I'm home, I'll probably get back into it just because it's more so just fun for me. But I kind of like, I'll have an idea and I'll write everything down like in my notes app on the phone. And then I have like too many ideas that I don't know where I'm going to go with it kind of thing. But no, definitely. I mean, writing's always going to be there and I always will love it. So I need to get back into it. But yeah, it is hard for me to like, I don't know, when you're just working on some, like in Chicago, all I could really think about was Chicago Fire for 4 months straight, because it's like I had, well, a little bit longer than that, because I had to prep my initial prep for the show and just creating this character. And then, every week and a half we're getting a new script, so then you have to start prepping that, but then you're still working on the episode before, so it's just it's really a lot of work, and like mentally all I could really focus on was that. And then of course I went and did this movie after, and I did a movie before, so it's like my mind just is was focused on all of that. But yeah, I should get back into writing it for sure.
Yeah, because I remember you were in the process, and stuff like that, and I don't think we talked about it last year. But
was it like the animation one? No, well, it wasn't going to be an animation, but then me and my writing partner were like, maybe it might work better as an animation. So,
okay.
Yeah, it just kind of sits on my computer and sits there, and I don't click on it ever. But
yeah, I get.
I feel like eventually, when the time feels right and I'm surrounded by the right people, I'll share it with more people, or give it another pass and see what else I can come up with. But yeah, I mean, I'll always love writing. I find it so therapeutic and just so fun.
Yeah, and so when it comes to writing, like, is it mainly just screenplays that you want to do, or would you like to do like poetry? Do you write poetry, like a book?
I do a little. I kind of just write down all of my thoughts, like ideas, thoughts, things that I'm feeling, just anything. I think journaling is incredibly important. So I do just kind of write everything down. A couple of years ago, I got really into poetry. Like, for some reason, my mind and my thoughts during that time were feeling like really poetic. But I haven't really done that much lately. I've just kind of been journaling and writing down ideas and things like that. So I kind of just write down literally everything. And then afterwards, I'll see if, there's any cool ideas or things in there that I could kind of run with and come up with like a story.
Is there, a time that you read something that you wrote a year ago and you're just like, Caitlin, really? You were feeling this way?
All the time. I mean, as far as like my journals, I try not to ever go back and read them, just because, I don't know. I feel like that's can kind of make me live in the past a little too much. But yeah, as far as like scripts or different things that, little short films that I'll write in a day, sometimes I'll go back and be like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, I must have just like threw this up on the page and then was like, wow, I wrote a short film in a day. What, and then never looked at it again. And then I'll go back and just be like, what was I thinking? Like, but it is important to just get all of that out, because it's also, it's an exercise of just, keeping that muscle strong of being able to write dialogue and a scene and those kinds of things. So I still always do it, but they're not always good. That's for sure.
Well, and then weren't you, I forget what year it was. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. You were going to film a short that you wrote.
Oh,
is that? Am I making?
Oh, that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
I don't remember. I know exactly what you're talking about though, and we never shot it. I think because of COVID.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think that's it. Wow, it's so crazy. Like, you forget things, and then when you talk to someone that you only talk to once a year, pretty much, it's like they remind you of things that you were doing in your life that never got done, and it's just like, wow. It's
just like, I have to stop talking with this person now. Goodbye. No. Well, it's that's I mean, knock on wood, but that's one of the nice things is that I tend to remember a lot of things still, except my
Yeah.
birthday. So yeah, I remember you were like prepping to film something, and then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then yeah, I didn't hear anything or
Oh, was it something that I wrote I've done a couple short films with things that my friends have written. Like we've definitely shot those over the years.
It may have been, maybe you
Maybe it
didn't
was.
write it because yeah, I know that you were prepping and you were gonna go to Alabama and do it or somewhere
Okay.
rural. I don't know. I don't remember. So that I don't remember. But yeah, I just remember that it was. I wasn't sure if it was something that you wrote or yeah, you were just. It was somebody.
There's no telling. I also might have shot it, and I just can't remember. Like, so much has happened over the years that, like, gosh, I forget some of the things that I've done. It's amazing.
You know, not saying that I understand that, but I do understand that because I had this moment where I was cleaning out my podcast email, and I remember looking at a person, somebody that from PR sent me, and I was just like, man, I'm so glad I didn't chat with this person because I feel like it wouldn't have been a great chat. And then I'm staring at it, and I go, hang on, wait a second. And I went back into my episodes, and I did chat with him, and I released it, and I was just, why don't I remember any of this?
Yeah.
I
feel like it's because we have so many different experiences and so many different people that we're around and just different jobs and different opportunities and all of these things that, like, we're constantly just kind of spreading ourselves in so many different areas and around so many different people that it's hard. It's really easy to just kind of forget about. I don't know. I feel like that's it for me. It's just there's so many different opportunities that I'm doing and are a part of that it's like if I think about 5 years ago, oh my gosh, I can barely remember like one day of that year.
Ooh, yeah, no. Yeah. And with the podcast, I'm creeping up to 500 episodes.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
July was the 9th year, so I'm just, I'm just like, my girlfriend will be like, I listened to that one chat with that one person, and I'm just, who? I don't know who they are. I'm sorry, I don't. And and I'll just sit there and just kind of feel embarrassed that I don't remember. But then she's like, yeah, it was like episode like not even like 2-digit episodes. So I'm just like, well,
Well, yeah.
of course I'm not gonna remember.
Yeah, 500 is a lot of episodes.
Yeah, it is, and so.
When will you hit your 500?
Oof. I don't know. Maybe, maybe in January.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It kind of depends, July was supposed to be a fun month and where I was going to be releasing episodes, what I do every year, and it didn't turn out that way. I'm really happy with the episodes that came out, but there was just a lot of personal things going on, things with work that I was not happy about. Well, that crept into my ability to do the podcast, which always angers me, because I'm just like I get I need to work and I get I need to survive, but I mean I've been doing the podcast for so long that I feel like this thing that I do should be more, what's the word I'm looking for, more I don't know, have more seniority, just because also I mean I like you and other guests that they give up their time, and I want to be I don't want to just take that for granted. So it's kind of whatever. So Um,
Well, I mean, that must be hard because, like, when you're interviewing people, it's you
mhm.
and such a personable person that, like, I feel like it must be hard not to let the things that you're going through in your own life affect, like, how you might communicate with someone one day because it
Mhm.
is you. Like,
Right.
I mean, I think that's what makes your podcast special and so fun is that it's literally just you being yourself and what, just how you are as a person that you bring to this podcast, which makes it so relatable for people. But yeah, that must be so challenging to have things going on in your life and not let them like seep into the podcast in some kind of way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it has been, and of course, I really noticed when it started happening was during COVID, and when
Hmm.
the riots were happening, I just had this overwhelming sense of why am I trying to hide things? Why am I trying to deflect from things? And um, I I was telling my girlfriend I'm not a journalist at all. I would never ever consider myself a journalist. I don't even consider myself a podcaster. But still, it's just I like to have real conversations with people, and been doing this so long. I feel like I don't like not to be mean towards any interviewer, but why do I need a extra this chat, or just have fake enthusiasm, or things like that. I'm like, well, what's the point? That's not real. Who cares? Who wants to listen to that?
Mm.
Or there's tons of outlets where you can listen to that. So go go ahead and listen to that. That's fine with me. So and I've had guests on that I had on previously where it was before the pandemic, and now, and I as I'm older, I do find myself being a little bit more serious, or asking more serious questions, because I'm just curious about people. um
Yeah.
so yeah, that's just where my brain goes. So
Yeah. And that's what makes your podcast so unique and special, I think.
I appreciate that, but
Yeah.
it's really the guests. I say it's the guests. It's
No, it wouldn't exist without you,
Well,
you
it
know?
also wouldn't exist without the guests. So
It's a collaboration of everyone involved.
there we go. Perfect. I love it.
But you're the leader of it. Yeah.
Uh, oh my gosh. I,
Mm.
I I do wish I had a team, though. That'd be so great.
Well, hey, you might eventually.
Who knows? Who know? If I had an editor just to say, here, do it. Here, go edit.
Yeah.
Have fun. But that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. But yeah, so I don't even know what we were talking about. We're getting old. We're
I
getting
know.
older. That's what I was talking. No, I'm just kidding.
The whole theme of this conversation is we are getting
We
older.
are getting older. Yeah. Oh no, we were talking about your writing and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we are also getting older. But it's okay. So you mentioned that you're just kind of chilling and hanging out. Do you have any upcoming projects? Not necessarily that you can talk about, but just things coming down
Yeah.
the pipeline, pipe work.
Well, I have two movies coming out.
Mm-hmm.
One just came out last month, and should go to a streaming service sometime pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I have two other movies coming out, I think, or three. I forget. So I'm gonna just be doing like some post stuff for that, and then I imagine they'll both go to some film festivals. So I'll just be kind of riding that wave for a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of starting to, take meetings and audition for things again, and I don't really know what's next or what I want to do. I'm just hoping that it'll be another like cool opportunity and a cool script and a cool character. I just kind of always want to keep like playing different types of characters. I think that's something that I really look forward to doing. It's just something different than the last. So we'll see. I mean, yeah, I've done some pretty cool stuff in the past year. So I don't know exactly what's next, but hopefully it'll be something good.
Yeah. You gotta, keep that good luck train going, because
yeah, definitely the momentum has been pretty consistent,
good.
Which has been really nice. But now I'm kind of getting into that place where, I'm being a little bit more specific about the things that I choose and my choices and, all of that. It's a weird industry that I'm in, but I love it. And yeah, I'm just always trying to, do something new and unique and something that I love. After Chicago Fire, that show, it's been on for 10 years, like I said. And, there's a lot of money in primetime television, and it's like a well-oiled machine. It just runs and runs and runs. Every day is really quick. You move through everything quick. And after that, I really wanted to go do something like low budget and indie and super collaborative, and just something that felt like a completely different experience. Just so that I don't get used to one thing, because doing something for 4 months, you can kind of get used to that environment and like how sets work when there's a lot of money and a lot of people involved and, that kind of thing. So yeah, it was important for me to find something that was very indie, very, not a lot of money, just, a bunch of people collaborating together to make something really cool. And that's what I did up in Big Bear. We were in the middle of nowhere, basically, in this little mountain town for a couple weeks. And it was a great group of actors. And yeah, it was definitely a very different experience. It was very challenging. We didn't get a lot of our days. We had to go over to, it was like really, really long days and a lot of hard work, but that's what I wanted to do after Chicago. So I don't really know what I want to do next. I don't know. I feel like doing an indie movie was so specific to me after Chicago. And now I'm like, okay, well, I've done both of those things. So like, maybe now I'll just look for like some kind of character that I've never played before, something that like takes me out of my comfort zone, or just makes me like, I get to like work hard and really dive into something unique that I've just never done before. So that's what I'm hoping for next, and we'll see. Hopefully something good will come soon, and I can tell you next year when we talk.
Yes. And yeah, no, it's, I totally like the fact that you have this mentality of, I don't want to get burnt out by this, so let me go do this, and just, kind of, it's always nice, just because, there are certain directors that I think of that are used to big budgets, and hey, those big budgets, they're able to do wonderful things. But I always think about, what would they do if they didn't have a budget? What would come out? Like, let's give Chris Nolan $5 million and see what he comes up with. And
there's also, sorry, I cut you off.
No.
No, but there was also, for me, like being on Chicago, and I also did this show called The Rookie after I got back from Chicago. But being on both of those shows, it's very much like really specific in the words, where you have your script supervisor always telling you which word you missed and in your dialogue, and it's very, very like, you have to say the words as they're written, which I understand, because they have this amazing writers room full of incredible writers who write these words for your characters, and they spend a lot of time on it. So they want it to be as it's written, because also there's a lot of people above them that have to approve this. So you have to kind of say what you've been given. So for me, I always want to respect and honor like a writer's words, but sometimes things don't feel right for the character that I've created, or like just little ways of like how you can say things or how things are written. So doing an indie movie, there's a lot more freedom with that, to just really be present in this character and just see what comes out. Like, of course, I'm never going to change, like, what I'm trying to say in the scene or what the writer has written, but there is more of a relaxed environment to be able to, improv a little bit or throw other little words and sentences that maybe make you feel more like your character, just those kinds of things that are really fun for me as an actor to go get to do. Like, I love improving. So
yeah,
that's part of the fun of, the indie movies, is just the collaboration with the director and all the crew, and just being like, what if we tried this? Like, just coming up with ideas on the spot, and everyone's just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it really quick. And then you just do it. And a lot of the times that's the take you end up using, because it was just, I don't know. Everyone's just so present and quick to respond. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling again.
No,
but yeah, they're just such unique experiences in themselves.
Have you, saying that you do enjoy improv, have you ever taken an improv class?
Yeah, I did. When I was still dancing before I might have been on the Fosters at that point, but I took it Groundlings I did like 3 classes there, probably. Which was so fun. I feel like it really just, I think it's like something that every actor should do, because I mean, all we do as actors is listen and respond.
Right.
And that forces us to be incredibly present and to be incredibly good listeners, because you have to know what the other person's saying so that you can respond to them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times when you get a scene or a script or whatever, a lot of actors just try to memorize everything, but that takes away that like listening and response action that acting should be about. So I think improv is super important. I do a lot of that with like characters that I'm working on. Like one of my best friends, who is also my acting coach, he does that with me a lot when we're like prepping for a role or doing an audition or anything. He'll have me just improv the scene and just not think of any of the words, but still get the point across, or, he'll give me like different prompts and stuff. But like, there's something about just improving that makes you super present in the scene and forces you to like listen, which I think a lot of actors forget to do.
Yeah, I feel like, when it comes to certain actors, or even people who aren't experienced, they're just waiting for the person to get to that one, the end of their sentence. So then, okay, now I go. And it's that's not acting. Come on. It's like,
that's a lot. I've seen that a lot with people that I've worked with. It's a habit that people get in of like, if you're the character they're performing with, the last word of their sentence is this, and as soon as they hear this, then they go. And I guess in a way they're listening, because they're listening for the word this, but it's not like they're listening to what the person is actually saying. They're just listening for that one word.
Right.
So yeah, I've worked with a lot of people like that. That's definitely a way of, a style that people do. I don't know. It's interesting. It doesn't really work for me, but it works for some people.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm sure that I've told you this, that I'm one of the best actors you'll ever work with. But yes. It's one of those things where I can't imagine not being able to just adjust things, to sound a bit more natural. Just because I remember working on a film shoot where it was for instructional videos and research papers and stuff like that. That was kind of a challenge for me, because the writers were Harvard grads, and it was just so robotic. I'm just like, would a student really talk this way? It didn't. Again, the hack actor in me was just like, this doesn't make. The student would never say this, and I'm just like, looking back, I'm just like, Chris, just say the lines. Just stop causing issues. Just say the lines and eat your Chipotle, because that I was paid in Chipotle, I should say.
Were you?
Yeah.
Hey, that's not a bad payout.
No, and this was early Chipotle, so this is when people were just finding it. So I was totally cool with that. I was like, yes, please, I'll take that Chipotle.
I haven't had Chipotle in so long, but now I really want it. I really want that white paste. No.
Yeah, no, I have Chipotle. I have it maybe every other week.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I'm never gonna rat on Chipotle. Like I do enjoy it. So if you are just like, you know what, let's go get it. Hey, you know what? There's no judgment here.
What's your go-to order at Chipotle?
Oof. Okay. All right. So now the
Or do you
podcast
change
can
it up?
begin. I never change it up because I'm a basic
Okay,
bitch.
no one ever changes it.
No, no. Once you find, I found that if I do change it, I'm always disappointed.
Yeah.
So yeah, never again. And let me, you know what? I'm just gonna pull it up on my phone because I want to
Oh,
get it.
you have it saved, so you can just click it and then it's ready.
Boom. Yes. I don't. Yeah. I don't have to do any kind of. You know. There's Chipotle. Yeah. Yeah. So it's always the same. Ew. Get that out of here. Okay. So I like chicken, double chick. That's
Okay.
white rice, black beans, fresh tomato salsa, roasted corn chili, cheese, and sour cream.
Okay.
That's my go-to.
That's pretty. You get it in a bowl or in a burrito?
Oh yeah, I should say I get it in a bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
I do.
Yeah, what do you do?
Mine's pretty similar, but I do the chorizo, the vegan chorizo.
Mm-hmm.
But I do rice, black beans. I'm trying to like imagine being at the counter because I don't have the Chipotle. I do the corn stuff.
Yeah.
And then I do lettuce, guacamole, and a little bit of that really hot red salsa.
Yes.
And I do fajita veggies.
Oh, okay.
And then I get a side. I get a side of white queso and chips, and then I basically just dip everything in the white queso.
That is exactly what my girlfriend and I do. We get the big thing of queso, and then we just basically just dip. We
so good.
Chip in the queso, and then dip our chips in our food, and that's how we eat it.
Yeah. Man, I'm starving now.
You know, the one thing though, I'm waiting for them to bring back the carne asada because that was really good.
Oh, I never had that.
I
just started eating red meat last year.
Oh, okay. And I never eat red meat. Only once in a blue moon. I prefer chicken and turkey, like ground turkey, like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about the carne asada that I was just like, yes, please, this is delightful. But I haven't seen it on the menu for over a year.
Is that just a steak that they have?
Yes, but it's longer. It's like
oh, okay. Is it like a flank? Like a flank?
It's
thinner.
No, it's actually a little thicker.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
see, I'm a new red meat eater.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, again, when they had that, that's what I would get, and that's probably the only red meat I would really eat.
Okay.
But yeah, chickens and turkeys but the chorizo, it's nice that they have a plant-based version of that.
Yeah, it's really good too. I really like it.
Did you ever do the cauliflower rice?
No. Do they still have it?
I don't think so, but I don't trust cauliflower anything. Like, take it out of my pizza crust. Get rid of it. I don't want it as my mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I'd rather just have the real thing.
Yes. Like, I don't. Ew.
Is it like a good option for gluten-free people? No? I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
It's people who they don't it's keto friendly, so
gotcha. Okay.
But I'm just like, no, get cauliflower, get out of here.
Yeah, I like buffalo cauliflower, or like some cauliflower in my air fryer.
Yeah.
But I don't really mix too much with cauliflower.
Yeah, I mean, like, treat cauliflower as cauliflower. Don't try to convince me it's cauliflower. It's rice. Like, no, stop. I just became cool with almond milk, and now I got to deal with cauliflower rice. No, I'm not ready for that. Let me process it for a bit, okay?
That's funny.
Yeah, these are the issues that you will run into when you turn 34.
Mm-hmm.
So
No cauliflower.
exactly. Well, or at least stop trying to convince me otherwise that it's something else when it's just cauliflower.
Do you like oat milk?
I've never had it. I don't. I wouldn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You should get some oat milk. Like the brand Oatly is pretty good because it's very creamy, and I feel like it's a good. Like I feel like it's a little bit creamier than almond milk. Well, I guess it just depends what kind you get. But
Is oat milk just like
oats.
yeah, like my brain goes to, is it just like watery oatmeal? Like isn't that technically oat milk?
I mean, kind of. You just kind of blend it all together, and then if you make it, by yourself, and then put it through a strainer, like a cheesecloth or whatever. But no, it's actually really good. Like when you get it from the store, it's very creamy. But certain brands are not as good as others, that's for sure. So you kind of have to just try them all, see which one you like.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I'm all towards innovation and things like that, but still, I'm just like, how do you milk an oat? How do you milk an almond? My brain is just, it doesn't make sense. But okay, this is where the world is going. Hey, you know what?
Let me try. I can't tell you the last time I don't think I've ever bought milk. I guess to bake stuff, like actual milk though. I can't tell you the last time I bought like a jug of milk. My parents do all the time, but
it's I don't know. I was watching some documentary and it was just like, hey, us as humans, we're not meant to drink milk, from a cow, and we might start out, needing it, but sooner or later we become lactose intolerant. Some people are already there. So my brain was, well, if I'm going to become lactose intolerant eventually, I might as well just stop. So I did full stop on milk. And
okay.
I haven't had it since. But yeah, it's just like, well, if there's an alternative, sure. That's when I came around towards alternatives. So, but I'm also not a huge like cereal eater, breakfast person in general, which I associate milk with, in the morning time.
Yeah.
Coffee, like I don't drink any of that. So it's just,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I drink my coffee black, but I'll have like some almond milk and some oats, and I am like a milk in the morning person with like oats or cereal or overnight oats or chia seed pudding. Like everything's kind of milk based that I do in the morning. I'm not like an egg, toast, bacon, like any of that.
Yeah.
That just seems like too much effort in the morning, to be honest.
Yeah. See,
I'm like, I'll pour a box of granola in a bowl and put milk over it, and that'll be great.
And done. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. My girlfriend is huge into breakfast, and so is her family, and it just blows her mind that I'm just like, I'd rather wait for lunch, if I'm being honest. I'm like, there's more options available for lunch.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that, it seems. I like a breakfast for dinner, though.
You like a breakfast what?
For dinner. I feel like that's kind of underrated. Like making like avocado toast with like a fried egg and a side of like turkey bacon or like French toast or a waffle. Like I love that for dinner. I think that's so fun.
See, I mean, look, I would be willing to do breakfast for dinner if we can do dinner for breakfast.
Oh, okay. So you're like, I would eat a piece of chicken right when I wake up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I'd be like, well, I don't have to wait for lunch. I just had it. Because I like to have 2 meals a day. So if I could just have, like my lunch in the morning and then have dinner, that would be fine.
Okay. Well, hey, you could just sleep in and then wake up at lunch and then be like, well, I guess it's lunchtime.
Yep. Yeah, okay. Well, you know what?
That's
I have
the dumbest
I have
idea ever.
it wouldn't be so dumb if that's not what I do already.
Oh,
But
you wake up late?
well, not. I mean, I wake up at 8, so
Oh,
and then I'll just wait till lunch. But I do
um,
I like the idea of just sleeping in late. I think that I'm gonna test this out. I'm gonna test this theory, and I'll let you know how it goes.
yeah, you should try it and let me know.
um,
Definitely.
but Caitlin, we've chatted for
Wild.
a good long while. Um,
Okay.
but again, you're always one of my favorite people to chat with, and I'm so glad that uh, we were able to get our yearly chat in.
Same. Thank you for reaching out again, and hopefully we'll get to talk next year.
Yes, and hopefully I don't know, you have Chipotle today and every day for the rest of your life.
I should definitely do that soon.
Okay, perfect. Let me know.
Yeah. I will.
But I'll let you go. You have a wonderful rest of your day, okay?
All right. Thanks, Chris. You too. It was good talking to you.
Good talking with you, and I'll talk to you next year, all right?
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.